Hello, this is Fabio M. Silva for CG Touch Plus. Okay, so I kinda enjoyed it how the last bump texture came across, so I've left it as it is because you can get some really interesting effect, especially from far away. I don't know if you can see it, but it gives some more life in this area, and I kinda like that. So I'm going to leave it, even for the cost of a bigger rendering time. Okay, so this is time to start making some good lights for this, because right now we've got 0 lights. Okay, so I hope you have heard of the 3-point lighting system, and if you haven't, I'll explain it now. So basically, in photography and for films, especially old films, and still it's a standard lighting system for most shots. There are 3 lights: 1, 2, 3. This is your 3-point lighting system. Well, and now you raise them up a bit. Don't mind the cameras here. I'm going to delete these cameras, I think. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to leave camera 2 because it's nice, it's neat. Let's try out and render this to see how it looks. Of course, it won't look very good because it has a lot of light right now. So let's start changing our lights. Okay, this one I'm going to rename this fill light because it's the fill light, and this one is going to be my main light or direct light, and this one is going to be the backlight. Okay, so let's start to fine-tune these things. I'm going to turn off these 2 for now, and I'm going to concentrate on my main light. Okay, main light is set. Just this multiplier was 3. That's a lot. Let's put this back to 1. Camera 2. Oh, you can see now the bump here. Very interesting. Okay, so this is the main light. You can see it looks a lot better. I'm going to enable shadows. Sorry. Let's see how it looks. It's ray trace shadows. It will take some time. I don't know if you saw, but there's some slight differences. Another thing I should do is check out my advanced lighting system. It's set to ray tracer. That's probably what's making this take so long. Actually, it wasn't. Strange. I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to enable ray trace again. Light tracer again. Light tracer needs something in the ground to bounce a light off. So you're always, for safety, always make sure that you have a plane, a very big plane beneath your objects. Okay, so I've got my main line, and it looks very neat. So now, actually I'm not sure if I should increase it a little bit. Okay, perhaps I'll go to 122. Let's see. I think it's better with the other one. It kind of gets more mysterious. Okay, so but as you can see, let's just think for this one for a minute. This part is really nice. This is so-so, and this is really bad because it's all black. You can't see anything at all. If it wasn't for the background, we couldn't see anything at all. which might be what you want, but in this case, oh sorry, in this case it's not very useful. Yeah, it's not so sexy. Also make sure viewport lights and shading is set to best to help you with the lights, and enable the gradient map again. Okay, so to fix this we need to turn on our fill light, and the fill light is 3 times less powerful than the main light. So if the main light is 1, well, this is not scientific, okay? I'm saying 3 times, but well, it's the value that I think it's the most appropriate. It's not scientific. Make sure that you always use the values that look the best to you, not because the book says so. Okay, so right away we get a lot more light, and I think it was the shadows are not casting. Okay, so make sure you put cast shadows. It's certainly a bit more darker here, but not much. Okay, so right away you get something that might look odd to you, but makes sense, which is this specular area here. Okay, there are ways that we can fix this. First, the way to fix this was to have an eyelid. Since the eye would be inside the lids, this specular highlight will most likely not show up. But to be safe, select your fill light and go to Advanced Effects and check specular off. And now this light will not emit any specular, which will make a lot more sense. Okay. Just another thing, I would like to change this to directional, and make sure you do this. Actually, make sure you do something like this. Well, there's not much difference, but I did change this because directional lights are more like the sun, and since the main light should be the sun, it makes sense to be directional. The others are more like artificial lights, so we leave them as spotlights. Okay, and for the final one, let's check on our backlight and ray trace. Usually the backlight is 3 times more powerful than the main light, but I really want to make the backlight effect really visible, so I'm going to make sure it is at least 5 times more powerful, and I'm going to change this to a little blue because I think it might look neat, and I'm going to render. Actually, it's not so powerful as I thought it would be, so I'm going to move this a little more to make a line with my main light. And okay, let's try this again. Don't worry about the specular. You already know how to fix that, so okay. Looks more interesting now. So now I'm going to disable my specular here. I'm going to move this a little bit. Our eye. Another thing you could do just make sure oops, make sure you create a layer. I pressed here, create layers, and make a new layers called lights, and select all your lights. I'm holding Control as I pick the lights to select multiple objects, and select the lights layer and press plus, and these lights now will be over a layer like Photoshop, and choose hide so they are not in the way, but they'll still work. And enable it again if you need to make some adjustments. Okay, another thing I'm thinking that I usually do is sometimes you cannot get a good specular highlight on your eyes just using the main light. So what I'm going to do is to change this to not use specular as well. So we get a specular-less eye. No specular. Looks like it's dead, but it works for now, because when a character is jumping around and walking and changing the direction of the eye, sometimes you can't get not a good reflection from here. So what I use is make an omni-light, very simple omni-light. Put it somewhere here where you think the main light is. So if it's coming from the right, you put it on the right, or the left in this case, and you make sure you attach this to the eye. So as the eye moves, actually the cornea, as the eye moves, the specular light will also move along with it. Make sure you uncheck diffuse here and leave specular on, because this is going to be our new specular highlight. And you have a lot more control now with this light, because you can move it where you want and the specular will react accordingly. Very, very interesting. You can even making something strange like putting the light on the other side. Which kind of makes sense because we have a really strong backlight there, but it's backlight, so it shouldn't do anything here. Anyway, okay. So this settles making the eye interesting in scanline. A couple more renders. Oh, you could also copy this light over if you like backlight effect. Personally I like a lot of the backlight effects. I think it makes lighting very interesting. Let's see how it looks with two backlights. Well, it's kinda interesting, but I think it has too much light, so I'm going to delete this one, and let's finish with just one backlight. Okay, so this concludes our lesson on how to set up the lights for scanline. Hope you have enjoyed it, and see you on the next tutorial. Thanks.